Okay, the recording is started. What I'm really excited about tonight, by the way, is that Alita is one of our NMDs on the Heat NMD team, on the Heat team, and we've decided to combine our Tuesday nights together for our smaller calls because it means you get double the trouble, double the power, double the fun, and double I don't know what else. So Alita, you want to mute yourself and say hello to everybody, and we'll get started.
Hi, everyone. I'm happy to see all of you on the call. So especially those of you who had to stay up a little bit later on the East Coast, I really appreciate all of that. Very cool.
Great. So Alita and I are going to do the call tonight, and what we're focusing on tonight are two things, and they really go hand in hand. We're going to be talking about the shred. And Regina, are you hiking? How cool is that? You can do this while you're hiking, right? And yep. The only way I'm excusing you from the fact that you're not somewhere taking notes is that I know that we've talked and you've looked at the video and you've gotten trainings directly from Jake on the shred. So you may be somebody that's going to get asked some questions because you may be our expert resident shredder.
Okay.
Cool. So anyway, what we're going to do tonight is two things. One, we're going to talk about the shred. The other thing that we're going to really focus on is customer care. And what I love about the shred is you can't really have customers do the shred without doing great customer care. So first of all, I think I'm going to talk about the shred first. And basically, I'm going to screen share something, and I'm going to answer some questions for you guys that keep coming up because people, I think, have a little bit of misunderstanding on what the shred is. So I'm going to screen share the rules. I'm going to put them up in front of you here in 1 second. Let me get them. I thought I had them up, and they're not, so it'll take 1 second. And how many of you on the call, by the way, have actually done the shred and would like to just share? If you've had a really great experience, if you'd like to share a little bit about it, unmute yourself and let us know.
Hey, Nick, this is Patty, and I'm going to go while I know I have some service.
Great.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. One, it got me really focused on just really eating well and clean. I love the fact you'll go over the rules, but that I, stopped eating after a certain time. That really made a big difference. But I just, and all of it was challenging, really challenging, but the results, I felt so good. I had more energy, more clarity, and it was rewarding to know you could do it.
Great. Great. So I want to go over some of the rules and make this really clear. The 10-day shred, first of all, so that you can have it in a container, is a 10-day experience, is 10 days part of a 4-month experience. So it's only 10 days of a 4-month experience. We are not taking away from our 4-month experience with the trio and with whatever people would like to add in for shakes. It's really important that some people think, well, I'm just going to come in and do the 10 days. It's part of a 4-month experience. So number one, what are you going to do? You're going to do 2 complete shakes per day to replace your meals. You're going to do your trio capsules daily. No gluten, no dairy. That doesn't mean reduce. So if you want to reduce gluten and dairy, you're totally okay to do that, but then you're not doing the shred. I want to be very clear, the difference between the shred and Transform 30. Transform 30 is reduce or eliminate. The shred is 10 days. It's really strict. So if somebody says, I'm going to do the shred, but I'm going to have wine every night, that's okay, but it's not the shred. Somebody says, I'm going to do the shred and I'm going to do coffee every morning, that's okay, but it's not the shred. So is that clear for everybody? Hopefully you guys really get the shred is really a strict 10 days, no gluten, no dairy, no refined sugars, no processed foods. So I'm seeing questions on the site that says, can I do organic ramen noodles that are rice? They're not gluten. What do you think? Do you think she's allowed to do that? Anybody? Shake your head, no or yes?
Yes.
No, it's packaged.
It's packaged. The answer is no. No processed foods. The only processed foods we're eating is Complete, because that's a processed food. It's in a package, and are complete bars. Other than that, no packaged food. So corn tortillas, organic, sprouted, that you bought at the market in a Ziploc package, would you be eating those? No, even though they're gluten-free. So the whole idea of this is whole foods, real food, nothing processed, and of course, no alcohol, no caffeine, no eating past 6, and daily exercise. So, and the last one says, take before and after photos. Well, I'm going to be really honest with all you guys. I am not going to share my before and after pictures. It ain't going to happen. So what I would suggest when I talked to Jake is that she said, well, if somebody doesn't want to share their photos, see if they'll take their photos and just send them to you. Well, if I'm not going to share them with at least one person, how can I expect somebody to share them with me? So what I'm saying is if you're as vain or self-conscious or whatever the word is, or personal, whatever that word is, that you don't want to share pictures of yourself, take your measurements. Take your measurements before and after and offer that to your people who say, I'm not sharing my photos with anybody. Then will you share your before and after measurements? So it would be breast or chest, waist, hips, thighs. So you could do that and do the shred for 10 days. So I'm going to stop right there and see if anybody has any questions. And just make sure to unmute yourself.
So what were those measurements of, Nikki, that you mentioned?
Yeah, the standard measurements, I would say, chest, waist, hips, and that's the broadest parts of your hips, all the way across. And if you wanted to do your thighs, you could do that too.
Okay. Biceps is a good one to measure too.
Okay. What I'm noticing.
So Nikki,
Bicep?
Pardon?
I just have a quick question. This is Carrie.
Yeah.
So, what are we saying to people when they're asking about the processed kick sleep in the bars? Like if they have, when you say no process, why am I taking the, even though it's got a nutrition label, it's still processed.
That's right, and these are the only 2 exceptions. Those are the rules. But you could, basically that's it. It's kind of like Monopoly. These are the rules. But you could take it a step further. Why do you think complete would be so important, guys?
So that's one of your meal replacements, right?
You have to have a meal replacement, right? And so the shake, though, is processed foods, and we say none. Why the shake? Why would the shake be okay? Anybody have any thoughts?
Well, and I think it's because, it adds like 24 different superfoods, but it also cleanses and detoxes.
Wait, Tiffany, somebody's talking. Hang on. Go on, Carrie.
Oh, that it cleanses and detoxes. I was just trying to be kind of the devil's advocate here because I think people are going to question it, and even though we come back with what we know about what complete does, it's I guess the strictness because there's other things that are processed that have nutrition labels, and I could see I already have in mind like 4 or 5 people that might counter that, and I was just trying to see, if anything has, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, your original answer was perfect. We know that the complete is has 20 some odd superfoods in it. I'm not saying the right amount, I know. But we know that it's a cleansing. We know that it's a rejuvenation. We know that when you are cleansing your body, you don't want to diet. You don't want your sugar to dip. We don't want people to go in the moron zone. We want to keep our glycemic index clear and clean throughout the day, right? So it's really important that they're filling their body with really super nutritious foods. And we know that complete is a great thing to add if you're doing a meal replacement to your smoothie with your greens in it and stuff. So we know that it's got the right ingredients. The other packaged foods, rice ramen, come on, it's not gluten, but it's not a nutritious food particularly, right? Corn tortillas, it's not particularly nutritious. We want to focus on whole foods, super dense nutrition.
Can I add to that, Nikki?
Yeah.
This is Michelle. And with that, I don't know if any of you have experienced that, but when you explain that to somebody, it's really important that I personally felt a real difference. If I did not have my shake in that 3 to 4 afternoon time, I would start craving weird things in the evening. Right. And it happened. And I still have my shake in the evening because I can tell a difference. When I don't have it, I start to crave weird things because my body's needing that nutrition from it.
Right. So that's really great. And Michelle, will you share a little bit about your coffee experience? Because you really, about the 7th day, you hit the wall. And I think everybody needs to hear this, especially non-coffee drinkers that are inviting people on who are coffee drinkers, and they got to give it up. So tell us what your experience was.
I went through major caffeine withdrawal. By the time I got to day 3 or 4, I just felt I had a throbbing headache. I had no energy. Fatigue was setting in. I felt miserable. And I was even texting Nikki going, what is wrong with me? Is this normal? And we figured out that it was totally the just caffeine withdrawal. And then she suggested having the greens, the Juice Plus greens in the afternoon, and it made a huge difference. So I had one really bad day, like halfway through, and then after that I was fine.
So you want to tell your coffee drinkers they may experience that. Let them know ahead of time, and that taking those greens during lunch really makes a big difference for some people. So those are ways that we can help our people out. Okay? All right, so now we got the rules. No packaged foods. Now, the only question that I still didn't get an answer for, it said no refined sugars. I wasn't clear, I'll be honest with you, whether my answer would have been no. But somebody asked, would it be okay to put honey or agave in whatever they were making? My answer would be no, because those are processed foods. And I was waiting for an answer back from Jake. I don't know if that came up, Regina, when you were there with her, because I know she says no refined, and it's not considered refined when it's honey, but I still think you're not doing any added sugars to any foods.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, so we got that clear. Heidi.
I actually did see on Jake's thread a while ago, I did see someone ask that question, and she said no, because it is a processed food.
Okay, great. Thank you. I was looking for the answer because I asked her and didn't get it. Okay, so it's really clear what the rules are. So when you do the shred, and I know pretty much, Alita, you're doing it on your team, and I'm going to ask you in a second to tell us that neat events thing that you guys are doing, but what you want to do on your own personal timeline, your own page, you want to start creating curiosity so people watching your page will pick up on it. So I started off with something that just said, the shred is coming, I can't wait. I did it, like 15 days out, because if people are going to join you and need to order product, they're going to need to ask you about that, right? So I started creating intrigue with that, the shred is coming. And then there would be another one that said, there was one I had where a woman looks like she's kicking something, and I said, it's going to kick your butt. Join me. I had several different posts over a period of about a week, having people say, what is the shred? And I'd like to know more. And then, of course, you private message them. So number one, you want to get it out on your personal timeline. Then number two, once you've figured out that they are interested in it, the way that Jake approaches it is she actually approaches it with all of our products come in a 4-month supply. And you're going to get all 4 months, but this is going to be a 10-day experience of the 4 months. So she actually introduces the T120. That's how she introduces it. Now, you all know that the T120 is about $180 to $190 a month. And what you would do if you ordered the T120 is you'd order 4 boxes of shake, and you'd have all 4 of them on the installment. But as they add up together, it's like getting one whole box that you'd pay for each month. And the reason that you don't want to have 4 boxes paid up front, because then they would have this huge bill. So 4 boxes of complete, all on installment. And it can be a one-time shipment or a whatever shipment, but you want to make sure that you have those 4 boxes on installment that gets paid over 4 months. And they're still going to be paying about $190 a month. And then the trio. So I'm going to stop there and see if there's any questions.
Hey, Nikki, this is Daryl.
Yeah.
I heard it's the capsules or the chewables out being on the shred?
No, the chewables I think are okay on the shred. If somebody can't take capsules, I would have them on the chewables. That wouldn't stop me.
Okay.
Heidi.
So what if someone's really resistant to buying 4 boxes of shake?
Then if they were really resistant, I drop them down to the way that I do it, which is 2 boxes. And I like to do 2 boxes because I tell them the first box has 60 servings, which is going to allow you, well, what I would do if I was talking the shred, I would try to reduce it to 2 boxes and say that's going to allow you to have at least a drink almost every single day, except for those 10 days you'll have 2 a day. So at the end you may run out, but if you want more, we can order you more. Mm-hmm. That way you can stay in the habit of consistently after the shred, at least having a shake every single day, right? If there's still resistance to that, do 1 box and the trio.
Right.
But I would always start with the T120. I would drop it down to 2 boxes, and then I would drop it down to 1 box.
Totally. Cool.
And I know that you've had really good results, Heidi, in getting people to do the T120. You've got several customers that have just said, yeah, I'm doing the T120. So
most of them.
And let me just tell you, in listening to Jake's team talk about what this has done for their business, which is really huge, she's had, number one, she's brought back in distributors that had faded away because they got excited to do the 10-day shred. They wanted to come in and do it. And they got a few customers on it, so they got more excited. And then she had 2 key players, one that was a sales coordinator that was barely qualifying. Within, Regina, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought it was within a month or 2.
Yes.
She jumped from 1,000 in PVC a month to 12,000. 1 to 12 in a very short time. So she went senior sales coordinator, and the other one jumped from senior sales coordinator to QNMD in a month. Now, that they started this in February, so now we're in June. It's almost 5 months later. All of the distributors that were there that have been really involved in the shred, the one thing that they said that they love the most is they've never had as good retention as when they've gotten people started on the shred. That when they were just doing Transform 30, they had the bathtub effect where as many people were coming in as were going out, you know, faucet on, tub leaks. But with the shred, they said they've all maintained their customer base. That was what was really important to me, that they've maintained their customer base. And they've done it because when they invite somebody to come onto the shred, number one, they go through the rules, and the rules are the ones that you just saw on the screen. There's no exception. These are the rules. If you want to do the shred, these are the rules, that you send either a photo or your measurements, and that you listen to Mitra's 23-minute explanation of Transform 30. Now, for you guys, I've posted it on my group page, and Alita, I know you're going to post it if you haven't done it already onto your Inspire Heat team page, right? So it'll be there so you guys can all find it real easily. And I would also suggest all of you watch the 10-minute or 11-minute video where Jake is actually training on the shred. And both of those are posted on our Heat team page. And I know that if Alita hasn't, she'll get it out there right away for all of you. So
Nikki?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. The training one, is that the one with the three girls, or is it just her by herself?
With the 3 girls,
right?
With the 3 girls.
The 3 girls.
They're switching microphones.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, that's the one.
And one more thing, Nikki, in each box of complete, there's 2 bags of complete?
4 bags of complete, 60 servings.
Okay.
So 4 bags, 60 servings. So, and do you guys all have us on gallery view? If you go on the right-hand corner of your screen, you've got speaker view and gallery view, because then you can see all the faces. Mm-hmm. Okay. So those are basically the rules. What you eat, what you don't eat, how they get started. They have to watch the 23-minute video, and they have to send in either their measurements or their before picture, and then hopefully they'll send their after picture, and hopefully most people will allow you to post their pictures. So, so I think that's good. Is there any other questions there? So you understand how you're going to create intrigue on your personal timeline. And now, Alita, I'm hoping you'll explain that when you set up your group page for your shred, and we've called ours the Heat Team Shred and Friends, or something like that, the Shred Heat Team and Friends. I know, Alita, your team has set up one, but would you tell us how you're not only, you know, a little bit about how you're creating events via your group page?
Sure. I wanted to mention it's like 6:23, so I'm going to make this kind of brief.
Great.
First of all, okay, what we did was we called ours the 10-day Shred Extreme. We're going to leave it open-ended so that if people come in the middle of the month, they'll be able to hop in or hop out. Michelle is agreed to start a live event to get everybody kick-started, a fun event the night before, so it's kind of like Fat Tuesday. And then we start on the 13th, and then we go 10 days, and then we're going to have a smoothie party at my house on the 23rd, which is the 10 days. And so we'll get everybody to kickstart again, most likely on that next Monday. So it's a perfect time for us because the 4th of July hasn't hit yet, and it's only one weekend, and it's on a Monday. So it's great. And then they also, Michelle and another rep are going to do a live Facebook event that's going to be open-ended for 3 days so people can learn about the shred. And most likely Mitra's video might be on that. And so we have the 2 live events, and then we have the Facebook event. And then we're constantly putting some really fun stuff on our 10-day shred page.
And what I understood you to also say is that, you know, when somebody has an event, they're going to post it and create an event via your group page so other people can show up. Right on the Facebook group, they're going to create events through that group. So
yeah, so there's not a lot of confusion about where we go, where do we find everything. You know, it's all going to be there.
Okay, great. All right. Alita, thank you so much for sharing that. And like you said, we've only got 5 more minutes. I want to devote the next 5 minutes to customer care. And what I want to start out with, how many of you feel like you really, really respect your business? You respect your business. And do you know what that means to respect your business? That you do it correctly, that you honor the fact that we have this incredible business that can create such amazing income, lifestyle, friendship, health. So I'm hoping that all of you really respect your business. And if my second question is, how many really respect the customer care process? Because I know that a lot of times I don't always do great customer care. I will be honest with you. And for me, when I think about that, it's a sign, it's a lack of respect for my customers and my business. So one of the things that that they said on the shred is that Jake texts every shred person that she invites to join her 3 times a day for the first 5 days, 3 times a day for the first 5 days, and then the second 5 days twice a day. And it's a simple text. Hey, how you doing? Did you almost fall off the wagon? I did today, but I collected myself. I'm having a tough day today because it's my 4th day without coffee. How are you doing? What's hard for you today? Whatever you want to say. Very short, 2 or 3 sentences to all of your shred people 3 times a day for your first 5 days and then twice a day after that. Now, along with that idea of customer care, and she said this has really shifted everybody's retention because these customers got such a great care those first 10 days. Can you imagine how they felt? And of course, then you do good customer care after that. I want to show you, I want to ask you a question, and that is, how many of you do a questionnaire with your customers before they get started on the product?
I do, Nikki.
Great. I know that we've had that conversation with a lot of people, and not very many people do. I'm going to tell you right now that we have 2 different questionnaires that you can use. One of them I got on shareyourmission.net. No, actually, both of them are on your virtual office, and they're both on the missiondrivenmodel.info. And one is called the Customer Questionnaire. Can you guys see this one?
Yep.
And then the second one, can you see this one? The JP Experience Questionnaire? Can somebody shake their head? Sheila, can you see the one that says Juice Plus Experience Questionnaire?
I see it.
Okay, great. So
I don't see it, Nikki.
Okay, there's two. Here's the first one.
I see that one.
Plus new customer. And here's the second one. Do you not see the second one?
No.
Okay, so the second one is not showing. That's what I was afraid of.
I see it.
What?
I see part of it.
I
That's
don't.
the new customer questionnaire.
There's one that says the Juice Plus new customer questionnaire. There's
Okay.
another one titled Experience Questionnaire. Can you see both or just one?
Just one.
Just one.
Actually, just one.
So this one, very briefly,
Now you can see it as you bring it up.
yeah, but that wasn't exactly my question, Daryl. I was just looking at the title. All I wanted to know about the title, but we got it. So this one that says Juice Plus Questionnaire asks you, why are you making the decision to take Juice Plus? What are your expectations? What would you like to see improve? What's the best way to contact you, etc. And then it actually tells you what to do. Okay? Are you guys all there? I lost you now.
And then you'll
Is
be
everybody
able
there? Okay, great. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So we have two of them. The second one I really like better than the first, but the first one is great because it tells you exactly what you're going to do. And I'm going to share this second one with you right now. And like I said, it is on your virtual office, and it's on missiondrivenmodel.info, and both of these are there. What I like about this one is there's lots of great questions. So you're going to ask them, why are they making the decision to take Juice Plus? What are your expectations? What would you like to enhance your Juice Plus experience with a 30-day jump start? So there's a bunch of other questions. I want you guys to go to that missiondrivenmodel.info and take a look at it and start to use that specifically with your brand new customers, especially your shred customers. I spoke with somebody yesterday who said, I want to cancel. What do I say? Well, what's really great to say when somebody cancels is you can say, tell me what your expectations were when you started. And then you can address the situation. So, and Alita just posted, it's under number 4, know your customer. Okay? So I'm going to see, does anybody have any last minute questions? I really want to encourage you guys, even if somebody is not doing the shreds, that you teach your team to use one of those 2 questionnaires. I think that our retention will be higher, and you'll really be able to address situations that could come up with your customer who says, well, I'm not really noticing anything. And you might be able to say, what were your expectations? What were you hoping to notice? So,
can I ask a quick question, Nikki?
Sure.
Hi, it's Tanya. I wanted to ask in regards to the Children's Health Study, if you've got somebody that wants to do the 10-day shred, but you know that they're also a perfect candidate for the Children's Health Study, how do you integrate that conversation without making it too complicated?
Well, that's a great question, first of all. And I would simply say, by the way, when you're doing your 4-month experience with your trio blend and your shakes, and you're going to be doing the 10-day shred as part of that 4-month experience, did you know that a company will allow you to sponsor one of your children for free? Just like we do normally. They're buying the product, right?
Right.
Okay.
So do you do that all in the same order, or do you do 2 separate orders?
Well, whenever you order Children's Health Study, you always have to do that separately from the shake, because the shake is not offered on the Children's Health Study.
Correct. Or you fax in a form saying they're adding it after the fact. So
I just do a second order.
Okay.
I just do a Children's Health Study with the trio, with the red and the green for a child. Then I go back in and place a separate order for the shake.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys. I'm going to stop the recording. Oh, wait. Maybe everybody can take themselves off mute and yell that they love each other or something good. But I do love you all. Thank you. Thank you. Good night.